They did our road today. So,
Oh,
we had a-
really? Oh, cool.
They actually brined it, was it graded? I hope it was graded better than the rest of them around us. Seriously.
Ours isn't so bad right now, but it won't last.
Well, it just rained, that's why, right?
Well, they feather all the loose stuff back in the holes, and as soon as you dry them on it, it comes right back out.
'Cause I got to watch them the other day.
Does the county pick up the tab on that? Or do we,
On the brining?
yeah?
No,
They,
we
it's
pay it.
half and half. Whatever the bill is, the county pays half, we pay half.
How many times do they brine?
Supposed to brine 2 times this year.
Okay.
I don't see my partner here from the fire board tonight. He's not here.
I thought he was coming, he asked what time.
He got sent out to Colorado to fight fires or something.
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
No, he just called
Yep.
tonight and asked what time it was.
Doug, whatever his last name is.
Oh.
What guy?
anyway, we had a pretty spirited fire board meeting. The most important part is we had two motions that were presented, one by Jim and Yancey, that I originally supported. But what happened was, I can't remember his first name. but
Doug,
Doug indicated that he would like to amend it. And the motion had been made and supported, so they wouldn't allow him to amend it, which is the right thing to do. So I voted no, and it failed because it was 4-4. So then he made a motion. It was the same motion.
do you have the motion? I do.
I don't have it with me, no, but if you want to read it, go ahead.
Sure. The motion that Doug made at the fire board meeting, and let me say, you did a fantastic job, you and Doug.
Well, we had a lot to overcome.
Absolute fantastic job at the board. At first it was heated, because letters were sent, but I think you calmed everybody down and they actually talked, and it was Doug, it was a good meeting, I think. So the motion, anyway, Doug Behringer made this motion, and it was seconded by Larry to continue service to Colfax Township from August 1st, 2018 to March 1st, 2019 for the remaining millage collected in 2018 for fire protection. Approximately $34,000, and I think it's a little bit more than that. Payable by July 1st, 2018, and to provide seats on the board for that same period for Colfax Township representatives. It was a roll call vote, and it approved 5 yeses and 3 noes.
And the difference between the two motions was the representation. The first motion did not include representation for Colfax Township. So I was glad that, because I hadn't thought of it, because I thought the first motion was a good motion, which it was, but the second motion was much better. Now, we had a lot to overcome, and it was pretty heated simply because of a letter. I'm not going to go into details because I don't think I should. If somebody wants to go into details about it, they can. But I think that sometimes we need to calm down our rhetoric. Sometimes things don't need to be said that are said. And we need to do everything we can to make sure the people in this township aren't punished for what a few people say. And that's the thing, the biggest thing we had to overcome, because they wanted to tell Colfax Township to go straight to Hades. And that's not what we want. We want this township to have fire protection and support for as long as they need it. So that's about all I have to say.
All right.
Well, I have a few more things to say about it.
Okay, good.
Again, you did a great job with them, and I think that after talking with this board and listening to this board, I think if we rescind the motion to go back to the authority, they will accept it. There's absolutely nothing in this, the authority agreement that says we can't do that. There's absolutely nothing. I've read it over and over again, and there's nowhere in here that says we cannot withdraw that letter to withdraw and go back into the authority. And I think the board at this time will accept that. So,
Was you at the same meeting I was at?
yeah, I thought they
They had a
would.
legal opinion.
I don't think they can't, because it's like a resignation. If you put it in and you withdraw it.
The meeting that I was at, they said there was gonna be legal action if we tried to go back in.
Jerry Frick said that there would be, he was the one that said that, but he's only one vote on that board, and I don't think they need to get legal anything. It doesn't need to come to that.
Well, they didn't need to go get a legal opinion either, but they did.
Well, the village did that, yeah, you're right.
Well, the point is what they told me, now, because I questioned it as well. What they told me was that that letter was not submitted as a letter, it was submitted as a resolution.
And that's not true.
And if it was submitted as a resolution, it's not withdrawable.
Yeah, it was just a letter to the board.
And I agree with you, that it was just a letter. I haven't ever read that letter, but I've got a copy of it, I think, at home that I got in the mail, I read a long time ago. But the point is, you know, if that board were to say, no, Colfax can't come back in, because I don't know if you heard what I said. I said that Colfax Township is a functioning part of the fire department right now. Either that or we wouldn't be there. So for us to withdraw, that happens August 1st. That's not happening today.
But we only have one more meeting before that, so
I
we have to
understand.
make a decision on that.
Well, the one thing I was gonna say is, Sandy, redo your motion and hope somebody on this board has enough courage to second it. And enough courage to vote for it.
Can we hear from some of the audience about this?
At your last meeting, you guys said this week, this month, you would make a decision. You had to make a decision.
Yeah, because we're running out of time.
And that's not in your notes.
Make a decision
The other
to
thing
do
from
what?
your last meeting was not the notes of the voice of the township people.
To rescind that letter.
Yes. Mr. Wade asked us what we wanted. That's not in your meeting minutes either.
There was no motion, so I didn't put it in, no, I did not.
I think the consensus of us guys out here was, what's your problem, put us back where we were before. And then we get a corruption letter from Wade that throwed gas on everybody, and it's like,
You know, there was just as bad a letter from Frick, so
but
Which
You
I'm
never
sure.
got to this
Just-
point in the first place.
you just don't, we've had enough rotten letters and innuendos, and let's just move on.
That's why I didn't go into details.
I agree.
I appreciate that, Larry.
Hmm?
I appreciate that.
Well, I'd like to say something. I appreciate Mr. Wade and the board here wanting to save Colfax money
Yep.
by starting our own fire department, even though I don't think we have the means to do it, because we don't have enough volunteers. I don't know what it would actually cost. I think the estimate was probably underestimated. But one of the things that's bad about what happened as a result of us thinking we were gonna go with our own fire department is the people in Walkerville that are on the fire department have now had dirt kicked in their face. And I think they found most or all the money that was the issue in the first place. I think we need to get over it, move on.
I was looking to see if I had a letter.
And Mr. Frick personally told me they would welcome Colfax back.
He stated that he never had said that Colfax will never get back. He said that.
That's a lie.
Yeah, he said that.
I was gonna say, I thought it was stated right at the last fire meeting. He said that was one of the first comments that was thrown on the floor.
No, he said the
There.
present board. With the present board,
With the present board, that's right.
with the present board was the wording of that statement.
I think an apology is in order from Colfax to Walkerville. And then, who's bigger? Not that we need to be bigger, but I just think that there's a lot of people that do stuff in Walkerville for nothing. They get paid a little bit, just like you guys do, and you do a lot of stuff for nothing also. I understand that, and I appreciate you guys being here. But there's still a lot of things that get done for nothing. And when you start kicking the dust up, people don't want to do stuff for nothing anymore.
I think we got sore heads on both sides.
Yep.
So it's time for treating.
Roger?
I just wanted to say that Larry and Doug, just what Sandy said, did an excellent job
Fantastic job.
of kissing butt, I guess. Well, no, that's not right.
No,
Of
Doug did
negotiating,
good.
of negotiating
Yeah, Doug was
to
good.
get us back. And I was quite surprised that Yancey and Craig Herman's actually was on Colfax's side also. That surprised me a little bit.
That surprised me with Craig.
But, yeah, they helped out real good.
It
But
did.
I'll tell you, just like he said, 5 minutes before this negotiation started, this rotten letter was read that Bob wrote, using words thieves, crooks, corruption, and I'm telling you, that did not go down good. And what Sandy said, let's go back, I disagree. This agreement they made the other night was only till next March. That's gonna be negotiated, and I'll tell you, those words are not gonna be completely forgotten. They might try to be forgotten. But that was a terrible letter he wrote, and the fact you said Jerry answered back with just as bad a letter, I have never read anything or heard of anything Jerry said that bad to this board. I know there's distrust on both sides, but actually, I think we're gaining. These two new guys on the board, I think is gonna do us real good, and I hope we get back. But a year from now, that negotiations is not done for next.
What it gives us is between August 1st and March 1st, it gives us an opportunity to negotiate.
That's right.
Right.
To bring a long-term resolution to this whole thing.
Well, that's the fiscal year.
Yep.
March 1st.
And I can't believe we was in the red 11 years in a row. No checks ever bounced. I think it was a matter of bad bookkeeping. I think that's what it was.
They did not fail audits 11 years in a row. They did not. And the last audit, when we got it back, right on the top, right on the very first page, it says, this organization is well run. That's what it said on the last audit. I was on the fire board when the last audit came. And it said, this organization is well run. That was from the auditing firm. And I was on the fire board 2 or 3 years. And every time we had an audit, it came back with something very similar. So, you know, a lot of what we've been hearing is innuendo, and well, like Larry said, we need to get over it. We need to go forward. We need to go forward now and see what we can do to bring a resolution to all this crap.
If all the federal property in this township belonged to private people, we could build our own fire department, and it doesn't. So I think we're at a big disadvantage, you know? We have no SAP in this
We just
township.
don't have the people.
We don't
to
have the
man
people,
it.
the manpower.
We can afford to build it, but we don't have the people to run it.
Hart and Silver Lake don't have enough people, and if they don't have enough people, we don't have enough people out here.
We're gonna find people to do it, and yeah. maybe
And then we still would be without ambulance, he said, for 5 years.
That's the biggest problem.
The biggest, I
That's
know.
more important, the MFRs are more important than
Yeah.
fire protection in this township.
Yes.
I personally would rather go back to the authority and not be contracted with them. That way, we have every right to make a decision on our funds. We are part of that authority to make those decisions on how it's spent. That's my opinion, but.
Well, I think I'd get back in the fire department, then you got a year to say, okay, let's straighten this all out and everybody be happy. Instead of going and making more demands. I mean, in a couple, 3 months, these guys on the board, everybody can negotiate and say, okay, here's where we're at.
Might I say something? I'm from Elbridge, part of our fire authority. I've been in on this since the beginning. I've had experience with Silver Lake, Golden and Hart. I came here before this all started. I watched it develop and happen. I also have a little bit of experience in business contract law. I've been privy to the opinion that was brought up at the last meeting. That opinion was based on case law within the act that created this authority. There is enough case law that when you satisfied all the requirements to withdraw, of which you did, that was the end of withdrawing. There is no rescission or withdrawal of a withdrawal. That, if it were to go to court to be decided, would be the venue of which would be done. Now, that authority agreement does need to be modified. It has outgrown itself, and it could be amended to allow Colfax back in, or it could be rewritten in a new structure, but that would have to be through cooperation, trust, and looking towards the future. But at this point in time, based on what I understand on case law of this problem, the withdrawal was final. There's no rescission. There's no taking back what happened. All of the requirements for withdrawal were satisfied by a unanimous vote of this board.
But do they not still owe debt to the Department of, what's the
No,
12,000?
that is repayment of SAFER grant, and they get reimbursed. It's not debt, it's reimbursement. Once you satisfy by reimbursement, then the funds are back.
I think if we go by the authority agreement, it's not in there.
The legal opinion was based on the authority agreement,
It's legal opinion.
the one that was purchased by the village.
Well,
I've-
and like Larry said,
I've
there's
heard-
another one. The
well-
lawyer's gonna do what you ask them to do.
Well,
and say
my
what you want them to say.
suggestion, because there are two sides to every coin in a matter such as this, if everything is taken and done in a civil and positive manner, swords will not be crossed.
That's what we
If
want to do.
Yep,
we
and
rescind
if this board,
motion-
like Wayne said that night, he would not. And Wayne's only one voice and vote on that board, so there's a little more to go through. And yes, there was a 5-3 vote. I do understand that. Craig Harriman was one of the people that instigated this in the beginning. So right now, he's trying to CYA in Elbridge, because the Elbridge people are not happy with Jeff Buter or Craig Harriman's either.
Well, all three townships started this. We continued
Not-
what they planned.
Not,
The other two
there are
dropped
two
out.
votes on Elbridge that didn't start this. And there are two individuals in Elbridge that had nothing to do with spending money, $22,000 on Fahey and Associates. And that $22,000 that was spent on Fahey and Associates was all spent for naught. It
Yeah,
did,
because they haven't done anything that the lawyers asked them to do to amend that authority. There's 25 things that they said to do,
But
and they haven't done one of them.
well, but within that discussion, there was a letter written that Greg Frick and Jerry Frick both had resigned from the department. And that didn't happen. And what,
And that's all negotiable on our end, both ways.
yep, I understand that. And I've
If you
tried,
can go both ways, we ain't going nowhere.
well, and I've tried to be a supporter of both sides of this, and I've been, like Doug had said, Jerry said the same thing to me. It was not Jerry against Colfax. But when it was stated they looked for a washer and a dryer that had never been delivered, the state police was out looking for a washer and a dryer, that wasn't necessary. The washer and dryer had never been delivered to the fire barn yet. There have been a lot of incidents that have been promoted that were untrue. And,
Not by this board.
well, I don't know why they were looking for a washer and dryer that had never been.
I think you've said enough, Bubba.
Because they paid.
You're not
so
even
much.
from Colfax.
I'm from Elbridge.
They
That's
paid
right.
so
Stay there.
much money.
That was nice.
They paid so much money for it, is why they wanted to find it.
Anyway, I think we need to move on.
Well, I'm still going to go with my gut here, and I'm going to make a motion to rescind that, motion to withdraw from the fire department. I still think if we do this, that board will go ahead and approve it, and then we can continue on from there. If they need to check with a lawyer if it's legal, fine, but, I think in good faith, they're going to support Colfax and the people here by covering us until March 1st. I think we could do this for them.
Well, and if nothing else, I think it might be
You know,
a statement of good faith.
Yeah, to show them that we will, and if we need to type something up to give to them, I can do that. That's my motion, to rescind the motion to withdraw and withdraw our letter. Motion made.
Any support?